welcome to your August 2020 business energy reading. I'm so excited to be here with you. Wow, it is coming up to the end in the northern hemisphere of the summer, and we have been through quite a bit this year. But before I get into all of that, I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I'm so excited to have you here with me. And for those of you who've already subscribed, thank you for continuing to watch my videos. I appreciate it more than you ever know. Totally love your comments. So make sure to comment below. Let me know what deck that you picked, the things that bubbled up for you, and so I can give you some encouragement. And of course, if you're stumbling upon my video right now and you've never been here before, even if you have, go ahead, make sure that you like this video and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. A few more housekeeping items to get out of the way. Just let you know, if you are interested in working with me, you can find all that information below in the description. And the Magical Business Academy has opened its doors. Y'all, I am so excited about working with people in a way that is more accessible. So definitely check that out as well. And for those of you who don't know me, you're like, this lady's just blathering on. Hi, my name is Archield, and I love working with spiritually and socially conscious entrepreneurs to help them make a deeper impact and higher profits so they can live their desired lifestyle while spreading their message. So in the reading today, I'm going to help you move through the business energy coming up in August. I'm excited to see what we have. Today we're going to be using 4 decks, and I want you to take a moment to choose your deck. So I know it's like, oh, I'm just going to choose my favorite number, but I really want you to take a moment to take a deep breath, even if you need to pause the video to choose your deck, to make sure it's the one that's most closely aligned with your energy at this time. For those of you who don't know, I build my decks as we go, so that's why there's one representative card down here. Others will be added as we go through the readings. So here we are. We've got deck number 1, which is a red deck. Deck number 2, which is purple. Deck number 3, which is black. And deck number 4, which is kind of like this olive green. Again, deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3, and deck number 4. So if you haven't chosen yet, pause this video. Choose your deck, and just below the video or in the description, you'll find the timestamps. All right, here we go. All right, deck choosers number 1. This is your business energy reading for August 2020. You chose the red deck. Let's see what archetype that we're playing with through August. So this is going to be something that you can use to kind of what I think of as your North Star, that part of you, because all the archetypes are part of us. So this is a part where you need to play up the most to gain strength from as you keep moving forward. So here we go. It is Queen. Oh, I love the Queen archetype. All right, light attributes. Radiates the regal feminine. Uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The shadow attribute becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. So we want to be careful that, because we can, when we're pulling up Queen, we can start pulling up those shadow attributes. We want to try to stay more in the light attributes because that'll help us get further faster. So now that we have our Queen as the archetype we're playing with, let's see what other energy is coming through for deck choosers number 1 for August. And we're going to go over here. And each of these decks, like I said, I'll knock them each time. But we're going to kind of randomly pull cards. I know sometimes guys are like, I can see the cards. Why can't you see them? Because I'm looking at you and not down at my hands. So let's see what we've got here for deck choosers number 1. Got a couple cards here. Oh, we've got 3. Okay, so we've got Leo, I will. So, Leo came up, said there's a Leo in your life, sun, moon, or rising. And in fact, at this point, I'm also seeing North Node. Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, Leo. This is something you want to pay attention to. We've got I Will. Capricorn, again, Sun, Moon, Rising. I Use. And for those of you in the numerology, I should have said this. Leo is 17, Capricorn is 22. And we've got the Moon, which is Soul, which is card number 2. So you might want to check out what house your moon is in. All right. So we've got I Will, I Use, and Soul. We've got a lot going on here. Now, I love that the moon is here because that to me means you do need to pay particular attention to your shadows. A lot of shadows will come to light. And so if we're looking at this attribute of the Queen, of course we know her shadows are about controlling and demanding. So we want to watch those things this month. But what's going to help us is those light attributes of the Queen as well. Being feminine, radiating that regal femininity, and being benevolent authority who protects other people. So there's going to be this point where it's like here with our Capricorn. I love Capricorn. Capricorn, especially as an entrepreneur, hello, both of these, Leo and Capricorn. Capricorn's your empire builder. Leo rules the house of entrepreneurship, right? These are some great cards to get. And to me, August happens to be like, we're coming out July. There's a lot of moving forward. That's what I got. And then in August, the main overall thing I received was, okay, now this is the time in August where we're going to do some more building, some more foundation building, right? You move forward and then you shore up your foundation. You move forward, you shore up your foundation. You're making sure that you don't go so fast that you don't build out well, right? So I think that's like a huge lesson. And I think this is for some of you where your shadows are going to come up. You built something huge in the past, whether it was a business, it was a career, whatever. And you went so far, so fast that the foundations to hold it together crumbled because they weren't sturdy. And that's what this month is about, is to remind you to use that creativity, to keep moving forward fast, to see some of the things that need to be done, and to use that inner Capricorn and really build things out so that you can keep adding on and keep moving forward. You need to make sure your foundation is strong. That is like the big message that I'm seeing for you guys with this round. Let me see what else I have here. Sorry, guys, I have a lot of decks around me. I have to look and see which one is like literally kind of scream out to me, pick me at the time. So this looks really, really good. You've got everything that you need. And I'm not saying to slow down at all. I'm just saying to make sure as you move forward to get the right foundational pieces in place. For some of you, that might mean hiring someone. Yeah, that might mean hiring someone, whether it's a VA, a PA, a tech person, someone to edit your videos, someone to manage your social media, because you're moving forward really fast. So you want to make sure to have support in place. And sometimes it's difficult to pull your support in place when you're like, well, I don't know, am I really ready for that kind of support? When you see yourself growing fast, yeah, you're really ready for that kind of support. Don't wait till you've already grown and then you're kind of at the point where it's hard to bring someone on board to help you, right? Because you don't actually have time to train them. So you might find that even though things are a little much right now, you still have time to train someone so that they can take some of that pressure off. But it has to be, again, you're putting in the right foundations. It's part of it. Okay, what have we got here? We've got card number 7. I just want to make sure. I only thought I had 2 here. Card number 7, Goddess of Creation. That is not surprising with our Leo here. Transformation, creativity, and wholeness. This is how you're going to be made whole, bringing on the next person. And attachment, letting go, restriction, fear. Card number 8. That is so beautiful. Guys, I'm not kidding. It can be so difficult to delegate. And that's one of the things you're going to have to really work on is that delegation. Again, not to be don't micromanage people. People hate micromanagement, right? You've got to trust enough in your hiring decision that you can literally just let go of that attachment to whatever that piece was. If you need more on the kinds of pieces that you can let go, and it's different for everyone, hit me up in the comments below. One of the things I would tell you right away to do is just for a couple of days, if not a week, just make a list of everything you're doing, both in your business and not in your business, right? So you can start really looking at the things that are sucking up a lot of time, the things you really hate doing, right? And the things you really love doing, the things you wish you had more time for, etc. Because the big thing is, those are some of the things you can start to let go, the things that are taking up a lot of time, but aren't providing the kind of return. Return, of course, is about money, right? We all think about return as money. But what I also mean about return is return of love, of light, of feeling fulfilled. It's kind of like, yes, I could hire someone to cook all my meals, but sometimes I really enjoy cooking for my family. It, to me, is this act of love and how I transmit that to my family. Right? So not everything you do, you can't say, well, I could potentially make this much per hour if I let go of this thing. There's also the fulfillment aspect of it too. So everything's a give and take. And like I said, it's a little different for everyone. But I know that's one of the things that often when I'm in, especially when I started out, and I was in different programs, they would say, let someone else cook for you. Let someone else do your laundry. Okay, yes, I was ready to let go and let someone else do my laundry for sure. But cooking was, to me, an act of service to my family and something that I really, truly enjoyed. And I wasn't willing to give that up. So, again, it's different for everyone, the things that you may want to delegate. So, I said, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know kind of what's going on, what's in your mind, etc. So we can take a look at this. All right. What else do we have here? For deck 1, what else is going on with you guys? Can we tell you guys? Woo! About your August 2020. So we had a lot of stuff come up already, haven't we? Creativity, empire building, some more of the shadow aspects coming up. Potentially making your first or next hire. Because you are growing fast. You can almost feel it, like, I know in the May 2020 reading, I talked about time is speeding up. And it still is. With everything going on, time is still speeding up, and that's why I think it feels like everything's happening at once. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It feels like everything is happening at once. And so we want to make sure that as the ground is shifting underneath us, right? It's shifting underneath us all. That you're building as solid a foundation as possible. Because we're moving from one era to the next. That's why we're speeding up in time. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, we've got the Five of Swords. Yeah, it is kind of like there's this reckoning that happens no matter the type of conflict. There's this reckoning that happens after the conflict where you're really looking back at least I hope, where you're really looking back at what could I have done differently. You're really looking at what I used to call very lovingly when I was in the finance industry, the post-mortem. It's not that there was arguments, but when we're doing a loan, it's like whether the loan went well or went poorly, you want to do a post-mortem to see what you could do better. right? So after, especially now, because we're bringing up a lot of shadows, right? Our moon is telling us we're going to bring up a lot of shadows. And really, the word that came to me was expunging them from your soul. I think they're coming up to be processed, but expunging is a word, and for some of you, that is the word you needed. Expunging them from your soul. And that's going to bring up conflict, right? And we're going to have to deal with that conflict, which means we're going to have to look at how can we approach this conflict differently? How do we approach every argument a little differently? Not so much about a better outcome, like quote unquote, I win, but for a better outcome for everyone. A queen is benevolent. She wants to do the best for everyone, right? So that's why I'm getting there with the Five of Swords. Conflict's coming. Make sure to do the postmortem, see what you could have done or said differently. So you can use that information as you move into the next one because it's coming, right? Because a lot of these shadows are coming up. We've also got in reverse the Chariot. I love the Chariot. You can barely see it here. The Chariot is other than being a major card, the Chariot brings up the duality, right? The Chariot brings up the duality. It's ideas pulling you, like one idea, like again, it's a business ring, so your business, and you've all of a sudden got a choice. Do I go this way or do I go that way? And I'm all about the yes and, right? But it's like it's pulling in two different directions. So with it being reverse, at this point I'm saying that two different direction point, you're going to have to make a choice. Typically all about the yes and, but at this point that's going to make it hard for you to develop the foundations you need. It's like the foundations aren't deep enough quite yet for you to be the yes and person. You need to go deeper on the current trajectory. Okay, or if it's, I need to pivot, that's fine. Then you need to put the depth in there. The point is, it's making a choice. Later, something else will happen, you'll move forward again, and you'll be able to say yes and. You'll be able to do both. But at this point, with the Chariot reverse, I'm seeing that you've got to pick one. Maybe that's part of this indecision that's going on here, too. It can very well be an internal conflict. All right. We've got the Devil here, and I should have said this here. Chariot is ruled by Cancer. The Devil being ruled by Capricorn, so we have this double appearance by Capricorn, so definitely look at where Capricorn is in your natal chart. And what I'm seeing here, especially following up the Chariot, is sometimes people feel like when they have to make a choice, one way or the other, indecision choice, right? We can't say yes and. It then kind of can feel burdensome, right? I always look at the Devil and think about restrictions that we put on ourselves. It's nice when I could just say, oh, this is restrictions of society, or this is some way we're bringing ourselves down, like addiction, etc. But here, it's like, don't get, for lack of a better word, pissy about having to take one route over the other, because you're still moving forward. This is about building your empire, or your boutique business, or whatever it is you want to call it. Empires look different to different people. But don't let it be so burdensome. Don't see it as a burden to build one way, like you'll never be able to do something else. We are multi-passionate, multifaceted human beings. You will always be able to do other things. It's just in this moment, right here, and there are so many more moments, but in this moment right here, in this season, it's just the one thing. So don't let it feel defeating to you, right? Remember, you're building the empire. Again, lean into wherever Capricorn's showing up in your natal chart. And, of course, you've got another major card here. You've got the Lovers reversed. And I know a lot of us like to see the Lovers. This card in particular is just quite beautiful. The Lovers ruled by Gemini. Again, you can look at where Gemini is in your natal chart. And again, it is reversed. So again, what we're looking at, it kind of brings me back to the duality, because the Gemini kind of has like dual thoughts. And again, it's pick one way. Pick. Choose. What I love about Gemini is Gemini's a natural salesperson, right? Because they can always understand where someone is coming from. And in this case, once you pick, you'll be able to pick also. Oh, wow, guys. A love bug. Pick who you want to serve. There's a plethora of people. And I know it's like we hammer in on this so much, especially in this place. But it's a further refinement of who you serve. Right? You're picking the right program or the right choice or the right way to move forward. And even in doing so, you're further refining who you serve, so that you'll stand out even more. Yeah, that is wild. I love that. Obviously, that wasn't about even what I was going to say, but that is what came to me like a thunderbolt. This is further refining who you're going to serve. So, yes, this is part of that foundation building, because you're building the right foundation, or adding to your foundation to really support these people and support whatever this choice is that you're making here with the Chariot as well. Wow, you've got a lot going on. Wow. Okay. Got a couple more cards here for you guys. Get a little bit more wisdom in here. You got a lot on you. And the nice thing is you've got all the energy just there ready to help you. And having the Queen as your archetype for the month, are you kidding me? You will be able to make a good decision. And I don't think that either one choice is better than the other. So I want to say that too. It's just, you need to make a choice. And then you'll get course corrected as you go along. Trust me, we are always course corrected. But in order for a GPS to work, especially if it has no idea where you are and you're not moving, you got to start moving before it can course correct you. All right, we've got Earth. Card number 14 for those of you into numerology. Just making sure didn't grab two. Nurture nature. Guys, I was literally earlier today, and this is such a random thing, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Earlier today, I was texting an old friend, and he was saying that his wife is starting to garden. And I said, it feels like at this point in time, we need to start building World War II style victory gardens. Part of it is there's this beautiful grounding activity that happens when we're out in nature, hands in soil, and it kind of really helps de-stress. Okay? And part of it is growing your own food is a really good thing to do. You know where it's coming from, all the good things. But it's the nurturing, the going out and talking to, and tending to nature. That is just going to be so helpful. So, who knew this random conversation would become pointed right now? So, yes, go out, nurture nature. If that means going up and cleaning up around your neighborhood or in your natural area, or creating your own victory gardening of some flowers, some food, etc. I think it's going to serve you really well. And trust me, it is the queenly thing to do. So I want to leave you with a mantra right now for August. I love to, whatever the mantra is, I typically write it down. I put it down up several places in my home to remind me through the month. It's usually something that makes me even feel more whole, right? And is a reminder of the good things that can happen, right? And my goodness, you have a lot of good. You have some decisions coming up, but there's a whole lot of good coming for you in August. These are super slick. I mean sticky, not stick. Sticky. But I think this is the one we need. I let my intimate relationships be my greatest learning devices for spiritual growth and healing. I let my intimate relationships be my greatest learning devices for spiritual growth and healing. There's a lot of spiritual growth that's going to be happening for you in August as you're moving through, adding more to your foundation, keeping moving forward, and really making some decisions are going to make a huge difference in your business for the rest of the year. So I'm excited to hear what came up for you as you were watching your reading deck choosers number 1. So please let me know down in the comments. And with that, I say peace, joy, love to you. All right, deck choosers number 2. This is your business energy reading for August 2020. I'm so excited to share this information with you. I'm going to move the purple over to the purple, obviously. Let's see what we got. We're going to start out with our archetype card. So this is, we have all the archetypes within us. So this is going to be a card where you can really bring out this specific archetype to help you move through August 2020 with the business energy. And we've got healer. All right, the light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. What a beautiful thing to have. So this is going to be what feels like a super deep, nurturing time where you're nurturing others. But let's see what the shadow attributes are. Taking advantage of those who need help. Failing to care for oneself. So not only is it nurturing for others, but it's nurturing for you too. It's a yes, and you've got to do both. So what a beautiful card to start out with here for you guys. Deck choosers number 2, healer. So as some of you may know, and some of you don't know, I start building the deck. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I just thought I would mention again. So we're going to start building out our deck now. I've got decks on both sides of me, and I often knock on the cards before pulling, because we're pulling right now for deck 2, August 2020. And with the decks, not all decks, not all the time do I use all the decks. I just use some of them and use the ones that kind of scream out to me. And the fairy deck was screaming out to me. So we'll start with them. Maybe because of healing. I don't know. We'll see. What do the fairies have for you guys? We've got one of my favorite cards, Moving Forward Fearlessly. That is a really interesting card to start out with. And I'll explain why really quickly. The main overview that I got for August is shoring up the foundations. We've been moving forward pretty fearlessly, or cautiously maybe, in July. But in August, the overview I got was we need to also, as we continue to move forward, build in the foundations, build up foundations, so that we're having a very rock solid, steady business. So I love moving forward fearlessly coming into play here, because it's like, this doesn't mean stop, right? We're not stopping. We're keeping moving forward, and it's so much is going on right now. And well, in 2020 in general, this time specifically, whether you're watching this at the end of July or in August, so much is going on that is, let's say frankly, it can be pretty scary. And knowing that you're moving on, I think a lot of people are experiencing a lot of backlash. There's a whole lot of backlash around the time of George Floyd's murder, with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially people that have personal brands, depending on how they handled that incident, and especially within their programs. And so I know, ooh, a good dozen people in this space who are just scared to say anything. Right? And so there is, like, I think for some people they put the pause on. So this is a reminder to move forward fearlessly. If you're speaking your truth, you're going to say the right thing. Not everyone's going to agree with you. Right? Not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone agrees with my truth, and I have friends, I don't agree with their truth, but I respect the fact that they're speaking their truth. And they respect the fact that I'm speaking my truth. Right? I think that's probably the most important thing. And sometimes to move forward fearlessly, you've got to purge your social media. Right? If that's problematic for you, purge your social media. Wow, okay, I didn't even think all of this was going to come up, Tech Choosers number 2, but hello, here we are. I didn't think I was going to talk about purging your social media. What do I mean by that? Trying to remember this one lady I follow, she literally blocked all her family. Blocked her entire family on Facebook so that she could have some peace of mind. So she could just keep moving forward in her business. And so I'm not saying block your entire family. Some of you'll be like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. Okay, then do that. But I'm saying, when I say purge, it's not that you want to end up in an echo chamber of any sort. It's that you want to move forward. You can have people who disagree with you, but have people who disagree with you in a loving way and realize you're on different paths. And some people, at this point in time, just aren't able to do that. So, and sometimes that hinders you from moving forward fearlessly. Being tirelessly attacked when you don't need to be. Right? There's a time and a place where you're, it sounds awful. There's a time and a place where you're going to get attacked. Don't put out the stakes and the fire and the pitchforks and the tar and the feathers for them and say, here you go. Right? We have the ability to make sure that doesn't happen necessarily. Right? All right. So, Deck Choosers number 2, August 2020. Let's see what else we've got here for you guys. We've got a couple. I felt like retreat. Well, after what I just said, that's an interesting one. We got sacred union and we've got sorrow. Retreat, sacred union, and sorrow. So how does this work out? Well, of course, there's going to be, you're moving forward fearlessly, right? But then retreat. Like I said, you don't need to expose yourself to so much unnecessarily, right? There's a certain group of people who are here to hear your message. The rest of them aren't here for your message. So you don't necessarily need to share it with them. That's like the very basic of what I'm going to say about that. But also the other side of retreat. For some of you, you literally need to pause for a moment. Doesn't mean you're not moving forward. You got to keep moving forward. You can't pause all month. But it might mean take a retreat. Give yourself a 3-day weekend of just pouring into yourself. Why? Because you need that self-care. You're healing other people, but you still need self-care too, which is why we got sacred union. You need to have a sacred union with yourself. You need to have a sacred union with the divine, so you constantly get replenished, so you don't lose sight of that you are a vessel. You are a tool. And in order to heal others, you have to be whole yourself. Okay? I can see over here with sorrow, there's going to be yeah, going back over to what I said about social media and whatnot, there's going to be, once people realize that you ban them, block them, whatever you opt to do, there could be some sorrow. There's also sorrow in just the process of the doing, because you realize I'm disconnecting from this person. Or I'm disconnecting, wow, yeah, I'm disconnecting from this part of myself that needed this kind of attention. Okay, let that sink in for a moment. I'm disconnecting from the part of myself that needed this kind of attention, that needed this person or these people's approval. And there's that shedding away that's going to happen because of it. But it only makes you stronger. Remember, out of everything we do, whether we see it as detrimental or not, as toxic or not, toxic being my son's new favorite word, everything's toxic. I'm like, I don't think you know what that means. But whether we see it as toxic or not, as we participate in it, we get something out of it. So, there's a sorrow in letting that go, even if it's not good or healthy for us. Okay? So, sometimes it might be a good moment for you to sit and journal about that. Where's the sadness coming from? Because it's going to point you to how that relationship was serving you. Even if you don't see it as service, you're going to see how it was serving you. All right. Let's go over here. Deck choosers number 2. Man, I feel like I'm laying it on here. All right, deck choosers number 2. Let's see what else we got for you. We're moving forward fearlessly. We're healing people. We're keeping our cup full. We're shedding away some old stuff so we can move forward. That's one of the ways we get to move forward fearlessly. What else do we have going on here? Because that was a lot, was it not? Yeah, it really was. Let's see. We've got the 9th house. And it says the 9th house of faith. This is card number 33, by the way. And I'm putting it here. Typically, I would always start over here, but it felt really like it needs to go here with sorrow. And it is about having faith. It is about, you want to definitely see what is in your 9th house on your natal chart, right? But your 9th house of faith. The 9th house is about faith. It's about higher learning. It's about, it's about travel. It's about all those things. It's ruled by Sagittarius. And it's really about what I would call being the guru. It's like a guru house. Right? So, which is nice as it's the house of faith. Look to see what is in there. That's going to be like my biggest thing I'm going to say to you over and over again. Look to see what's there and how you could start bringing that into this healer mode. But also lean into it as you're looking at the shadows that are coming out of this exercise of the purge, the sorrow. Right? Have faith that's going to help you build and go further. It helps you go within further, right? You're going to take trips. When I say travel, I mean traveling externally, like all over the world. And at some point in time, we'll be able to do that again. You might even travel to the next city, right? The next town, the next state. The next little area around you that you can travel to. But it also means when we talk about travel, traveling within, going deeper within yourself, going deeper in the 5th dimension, right? Learning more about that astral world, that beyond the veil, right? So it's that kind of travel too. Okay? Which I think will support you as a healer and also support you as you deal with the sorrow. All right, let me see what else I got here. These cards are over here going, but I wanted you to pick me. All right, so what do you have to tell us, right? What do you have here for the deck choosers number 2, August 2020? You're over there being so flashy. What do you have for this group? Got a couple of things for the group. We got, making sure I don't have, felt like there was more than one there. Bringing love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. You know I love that. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. I think you got a lot of new moon stuff going on here. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. So I'm going to tell you right now, go ahead, look and see where, if you have, let me see. Yeah, look to see if you have anyone around you, Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, moon, or north node. You might not know people's north nodes or moons, but check those out. If one of these represents you, definitely pay very close attention. You've got a lot going on the new moon. Why is the new moon so significant? The new moon is when we start things. The new moon is when we start things. As I'm filming this, we are in the cycle between the new and the full moon. We just had a new moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are saved. And the new moon in Cancer becomes really important for you in this specific period of time. I like how we ended up here. There is this feeling, overall feeling of lack of security, just because time's moving faster. The sands feel like they're shifting under us all the time. That's why we need so much courage to move forward fearlessly. But know that along the way, you keep meditating. You keep with your contemplation, right? That's that traveling within that we saw over here in the 9th house. You bring love into every situation. Come from a space and place of love. Bring all these things into this new moon cycle right now. I don't know, you might be watching this August, and sometime in August when we're in the fuller moon of the cycle. But you can always start off each new moon cycle really starting with these new ways of seeing and being that will be, again, so important for you. Okay, especially on that healer front. That's what I'm feeling, especially on that healer front. All right, let's see what else I got for you guys. Deck choosers number 2, August 2020. That was a lot of new moon energy. That just means it feels like there's just a lot of things where there were endings, and now there's all of a sudden a lot of new beginnings. Right? Maybe that's why you're moving. Maybe this whole purge is going to give you a whole new lease on life, and it's going to feel like you're moving new in everything. And isn't that lovely? Okay. Sorry, that was just the oddest way for me to pull out these cards. But, here we are. All right, so we've got the 5 of Wands. We are definitely, the 5 of Wands, we're in a fight. Right? We're in an external fight. It is reversed. So there was this external fight. It is over. We're done. Right? And maybe it is a doneness. Wow, this reading has felt so personal. It is a doneness with people. But I also think it's a doneness with fighting people back. You need to move forward fearlessly in your business and in your life, and you can't be mired down in their muck. Okay? We've got the Knight of Swords here, ready to defend, if necessary. And I really feel like it's a defense of you. It's a defense of your beingness because you're very tender and a little bit tepid, right? A little bit nervous about this moving forward, which is why there's this command to move forward fearlessly. Don't worry. The universe got your back. It's time for your moving forward. You've just got to make up your mind that you're ready to move forward. That's this Five of Swords. It's like the fight is over, right? You essentially, wow, is that what I want to say? I guess that is what I want to say. You've essentially won your freedom to keep going. And you've got a very strong protector. You've got someone in your back pocket. It's okay to move forward. Your biggest issue at this time is your own mind holding you back. Right? Faith. You need to have that faith. Wow. Yeah, you really need to have that faith. All right, so let me pull a couple more cards for you guys. August 2020. Deck choosers number 2. See what else we have here. Loving compassion. Remember I said come from a space and place of love. We were over here at that new moon in Aquarius. Now we've got loving compassion. How beautiful is this card? For those of you into numerology, this is card number 16. It's just that confirmation. Be loving and compassionate with yourself. Be loving and compassionate with yourself. Your healing ability depends on that. Your ability to move forward depends on that. And then as you're doing those things, you are more easily able to be loving and compassionate with others. Which is going to help you so much as you move through August. You are a healer in August. You're healing yourself and you're helping heal others. Woo! Even during the purge, people are going to heal, right? Even as you're purging them. It's going to make them take a look at maybe some of the their own areas, right? Yeah. It's going to make them take a look at themselves. The one thing about social media that I think that's interesting, not everyone notices when you block them anyway, so don't think people are, looking. The point is, that gives them a chance to heal as well. I think that's probably the most beautiful thing about the universe, about our interconnectedness. As we heal, other people around us will too. It gives us all an opportunity to heal. When I allow others to support me, I support them too. And trust me, this purge is going to be your greatest way to be supportive. I love this as a mantra. I tend to write my mantras down and put them up around the house. So this one's yours. When I allow others to support me, I support them too. There's other ways to take what that means right now. In this case, I'm definitely interpreting it to be as you allow yourself to be supported, and it's supporting yourself, of course. In order to fill yourself up, in order to have the self-care, you kind of need to eliminate the negativity, right? And that supports them to do their own healing too. All right, that is such a lot for you, deck choosers number 2. So with that, I say peace, joy, love to you. All right, deck choosers number 3. This is your business energy reading for August 2020. Let's see what's going on for you guys. We're going to start with your archetype card, and this card was going to represent, you have every single archetype within you. So with this particular card, it's going to be about the one that you're going to pull up, lean in on the most during August to work with the business energy. Hedonist. Let's see what we got here. Light attributes. Inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life. Celebrates the beauty in yourself. I like it. All right, shadow attributes. Pursues pleasures to the detriment of health. Indulges at the expense of others. That is what we want to be careful of. So there is a bit of a balancing act with hedonists. I am excited to see what else is in your reading deck, choosers. Number 3. All right, as you know, I like to build the deck as we go. And we're going to start here. I kind of don't know which kind of deck is going to pull out at me at one time. But let's see what this means for your business in August 2020. Deck choosers number 3. Hedonist. Honestly, I don't think I've had the pleasure of pulling that one before. So let's see what it means. See what else we got going on there. How's that hedonist going to help us as we move through August 2020? We've got a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Oh, that's nice. A personal issue reaches resolution. Now, we're coming out of Cancer season, so it's almost like I feel that resolution is going to be reached as we come out of Cancer season, before the end of Cancer season, whatever that personal issue you have that needs to be resolved. And that resolution, whatever that is, it's going to be something that's going to help you a great deal in your business as well. So chances are, you're the ones who picked this deck. You know what I'm talking about. I might not know, but you know. And now I know why this deck was screaming out at me. Because that is a very interesting card to get. But I think whatever that personal issue is, what's it resolution that's going to make you pretty happy. So let me know what it is down in the comments. Let me know what that is, because I am curious as heck as to what that is. Okay, deck choosers number 3. We've got a couple more cards here. We've got the Infinite, which for those of you into numerology is card number 49, and a Gracious Receptivity, card number 28. That is super interesting. So we got something that's bringing us to resolution. It's going to help you personally. It's going to help in your business. It allows you probably to embrace more good things. I have a feeling like it's about money. The Infinite and Gracious Receptivity. With the Infinite, the main thing I'm getting is obviously connected to the Divine, but knowing that's where this resolution came from. You are always tapped into source. There's the blocks that we have to source are blocks within ourselves, right? We need to be graciously receptive. And so this isn't a one-time event. This, whatever that happens, isn't a one-time event. It's probably where the hedonist comes in. Okay, yeah. Thinking that this is a one-time event, it'll never occur again, you got to live it up while you can kind of thing. No, you are always connected. Source is infinite. Universe is infinite. God is infinite. We just have to be in the mode of reception. And at this point, lock in on what that receptivity feels like. I think that's probably really where we lose sight. We forget what that receptivity feels like. And when we forget what it feels like, we forget how to receive. Especially, me as a woman, I could say this. For women, it becomes very hard to receive. Or, using, when you think of the masculine, the feminine, even in more general terms of feminine is more about being receptive. And we're taught not to be receptive. We've got to do, not to receive. So part of learning to receive is counting your blessings, right? Gratitude journal. In case I didn't say it loud enough, gratitude journal. And being grateful. It's not enough to write down nice things that happen to you or nice things around you, etc. But actually feeling that gratitude is what's so important. That might be a step that you're missing. Because there's a lot of, wow, yeah, this is the energy I'm feeling now. I don't deserve this. I'm lucky I got this. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe I'll be found out. Lack of worthiness. Lack of worthiness. So that's why I kind of get that vibe of live it up while you can. And that's not necessarily what the hedonist is all about. That's more of its shadow attribute. But that lack of worthiness. So make sure you're working on that, because that also filters out into your business. When you don't feel worthy, you're not going to get the clients to come in. You have to feel worthy so they see you as worthy too. Okay? Just checking to see if there's anything more I need to say about that. Yeah, definitely. Make that part of that gratitude journal. Make that part of writing down why you are worthy. It may feel uncomfortable because it might feel like you're bragging. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You're learning more about yourself and you are becoming grateful for you. Yeah. I'm becoming grateful for you. All right. Deck choosers number 3, August 2020. What else you got for us? Guys, I think August is going to be fun for you. That's what I'm seeing. There's some work to do, especially some internal work. It's what I'm seeing right now. Like, externally, things are going to look like a freaking heyday. But there's still some internal work to be done. So that this becomes your normal. Okay? The faster you get to realizing that you are worthy and that you are infinitely connected and this isn't just a fluky thing, faster you're going to have clients rolling in. Okay? So what do we have here? First we had Guardian. Beautiful. And we have Message from Afar. So yeah, definitely take this time. It's flanking the infinite. Take this time. Make sure that you, like I said, source is infinite. Is infinite, but also what guards you, what keeps you. So that's that message that's coming in. So make sure you're connected, that you're hearing the messages coming, because that's going to give you your next move. Right? So some of this could be, I better live it. Yeah, that you don't know what's going to happen next. So it's always good to be in the now, to be in the present. But sometimes there's a fear about even pondering the future, so you're not sure what's going to happen next. That message is going to come in of what's next for you. Okay? Be in that gracious receptivity, right? So important. So important. Okay, over here. All right. Deck Choosers 3, August 2020. I don't know. I just feel like I have some steps for you guys. It's coming in this way. So let me see what we got. I know where I want to go, and then I know where I was told to go. So this is where we're going. I don't think we're done with this deck yet. All right. So we've got, well, I tell you, the Five of Swords has been making an appearance today. But here you've got it reversed. Right? So that to me is in and of itself very interesting. It's been coming up upright in both the other decks, by the way. You have got yours reversed. So the Five of Swords to me is about that there's been an argument, and that argument's over, and now you're trying to decide which way to go, or you're trying to make a decision. But like the back and forth, the ugliness is over with. And in this case, I'm not sure the ugliness is necessarily over with. So maybe there is a resolution, but there might still be some ugliness that hangs out after the resolution. Not everyone's always mad after, a personal resolution comes. After a resolution's reached, doesn't mean that everyone's happy about the outcome. I think you will be, but there might be some sour feelings on the other side. But that's okay. You've got this Queen of Swords here. And a queen just looks and is like, yeah, whatevs. Whatevs. Because they're looking out for the greater good. That's what queens do. Right? And this has to do with your mind. You can't let these folks, or whatever's going on here, get inside your head. They don't pay rent there. Don't let them stay there for free. Don't let them in there. And that's kind of what's going on with the queen. It's like, I'm letting this go. It's going to be about you letting it go, as well as them letting it go. I don't know why I'm singing them, but I'm singing them. We also have the Knight of Cups reverse. So upright, the Knight is giving something over. Reverse, there's a holding back. Right? And maybe it just means that there's a holding back. At this point, I'm seeing a communication. Let me see this last one. We've got the Ace of Cups. I usually love the Ace of Cups because it's all about wish fulfillment. Reversed. So it's like, okay. If there's any way you want to stop things from happening for you, right? There's this odd thing that I felt with this queen earlier. Like I said, the queen just got in charge. She's like, whatevs. It's kind of like, she has almost a sneer, like a looking down upon. You need to let go of the fight. It's over. Right? Whatever it was, it's over. Let it go. Because by having an attitude about it, here we go. By having an attitude about it, you're holding back your own blessings. Right? You're the one holding your own blessings back. You're the one cutting off your access to source. You're the one who's not coming from that gracious receptivity. When you get stuck and get petty. I'm only laughing because my daughter's like, I'm a petty old woman. Don't be a petty old woman. Right? Or a grumpy old man. This isn't about being petty. This isn't about hanging out in the shadow attributes of the hedonist. Right? This is about keeping focused on the main goal with the divine. Yeah. Told you this deck had a few more cards for us. Got a few more in here. I want to know more about what's going on here. How do we, I see how you don't fall in the spiral. What is our next step? Well, obviously the next step is don't fall into this trap, essentially. That's what I'm seeing. I tell you, these fives, you fall in the trap, you got to stop fighting. You're very passionate, and you get into a lot of arguments, but it's got to end. Right? It's got to end. I know it fell this way because it could go upside down or right side up. It's because you could go either way with this. You want to keep blocking yourself? That's what it was. It was a block. You want to keep blocking yourself? Keep fighting. Let it go. Let it go. That's what that is. Yeah. The fives. We got all of them. Right? So, there's a part of you, the letting go is not going to feel easy. It is going to feel like a loss. But I think it's because you're really just losing whatever part of the ego, whatever part of the identity that was wrapped up in this personal issue. Right? But by mourning, it's okay to mourn that loss. Right? Because it was serving you in some way. It was serving you in a huge way. Sorry, there's something in the background I just needed to see in this card. It was serving you in a huge way. But you are guarded. Right? So mourn it. Let it go. So that you can move on. You can move on with your blessings. You can move on with closer communication with the divine. That's what's really going to help you move the furthest as you move through August. And I don't know about you, but there's really nothing more beautiful or hedonistic than a badass relationship with the divine. Right? Nothing can beat that feeling. Trust me. Alright, so let's see what your mantra is for August. Typically take whatever my mantra is. I put it up several places in my home. I write it down, put it up several places so I can see it throughout the month. It's just, to me, just like the archetype is something I can lean into, the mantra is something I can lean into as well. So let's see what you've got for August 2020 for deck choosers number 3. When I've overshared, I simply say, wait, why am I talking? When I've overshared, I simply say, wait, why am I talking? So, I guess, be mindful of that. And there's always that point where you can just wrap up and move on. That's an interesting one. I haven't seen that one before, so. You know what, deck choosers number 3, you have surprised me for August. I'm excited about the Hedonist card. It looks like there, again, like I said, there's a lot of inner work to be done. Oversharing, that's just another part of that inner work being done. And, but things will look awesome on the outside. Make sure you do that work on the inside because you are shedding some things off during the month of August. And that is only going to help your business. So you can really hear and receive from the divine moving forward. All right? With that, I say peace, joy, love to you. All right, deck choosers number 4. We are here with your reading, your business energy reading for August 2020. Let's go. All right, we're going to start off with your archetype card. This card, all the archetypes are within you, so we're just leaning more into the archetype presented on this card. Your archetype is Rebel. Oh, I love the Rebel card. Okay, light attributes. Challenges authority to affect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attributes. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Whole hell of a lot of that going on right now, right? So we're going to rebel when it's actually right, not just to, you know, join the crowd. So that is my political statement for the moment. And you can take it just about any way, I realized. All right, let's see what we got. All right, deck choosers number 4, August 2020. As you guys know, I built the deck as we go. And we're going to see what comes up for you guys. I've got decks all around me, and I pull from them as they kind of leap out at me, sometimes scream out at me. And we see what you guys have in store. So we're looking at the business energy for you guys for August 2020. Let's see what comes up. We've got a Rebel there, which means you're going to do things likely a little different. Now, I think I want to, yeah, I do want to say this now. There's something about August 2020 that is really about foundation building, more foundation building. So July was a lot about moving forward. Boom, boom, moving forward. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. And August is about also continuing to build foundations. Kind of like June was like that too, and August is like that again. So June, we're almost at a pause doing so. In August, it's more of build as you go. Build as you go. So things are just going to keep moving. You're keep moving forward, but you're also going to make sure all the right structures are in place so that you can keep going up, right? Oh, that was nice. Thinking of you. For those of you into numerology, it's card number 29. Loving thoughts, serendipity. Feels like there's another one that's come out of here, guys. So, got to get that second card. Sacred Heart. That is a nice second card. Card number 12. Passion, love, spiritual communion. All right, so that is okay, why is this so interesting to me? So, the spiritual communion, and over here, it's about spiritual systems letting go of spiritual systems that do not serve, which means you will get into more communion with the divine. And you will find, as you're in more communion with the divine, that serendipitous things will happen. Right? Because that's just how it is. Because the universe conspires on your behalf. All the time. For each of us. It's incredible. It's amazing. So, but sometimes we can't even see it happening. Like, we're not even aware that XYZ is right next to us. It's almost as if we're ignoring it. So we don't even see the gift, the blessing, the miracle that is happening. That's being presented to us. So getting into more spiritual communion will help you with that. All right, let's see what else. I feel some fairies. All right, deck choosers number 4. What do we got here? What do our fair fae want to say? That kind of rhymed, right? Kind of rhymed. You can let me know down in the comments if you think that rhymed. What do our fair fae want to say? Okay. Beautiful. Trust your intuition. Yes, this is a good one. So, again, deepening into more of that, your own spiritual practice. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. Your spiritual practice doesn't have to look like anyone else's. I think some of the people I follow now that I love the most are not necessarily, they're very spiritual, but don't act very spiritual. They're not so high-minded and holier than thou and untouchable and all that stuff. They're just like normal people, right? And they do crazy and wacky things, and they don't say all the right things in all the right ways, right? And they may even use foul language, and how dare you be spiritual and use foul language, right? But the thing is, the through thread of all of them, they trust their intuition deeply. 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 And what will happen when you make that spiritual communion? You're trusting your intuition. How do you see those miracles of the serendipitous acts? You're trusting your intuition. Your intuition tells you to look left and not right. Right? Your intuition tells you to pick up the phone and call whomever. Or to that email you were going to delete, it says open. Right? Those things, trusting your intuition is going to be really key. And it's going to help you to see the things that you rebel against. Remember here I said, it's only been a couple of seconds, right? Maybe a couple of minutes. Trust your intuition to help you find your spiritual path. Not everyone's spiritual path looks the same. Right? So here with the Rebel card, it said, you reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. You're going to find that most spiritual systems, most religions are not going to serve your needs. You need to trust your intuition and your own commitment to the divine to help you redefine spirituality for yourself. You need to redefine spirituality for yourself. Yeah, here we go. Let's keep going here, guys. That was kind of heavy. It's going to look very different. I am very curious to hear what's coming up for you right now. Because I have a feeling you already know. You already have an inkling of what it looks like for you and how it's different than what you've seen. How it's a combination of things you've seen. And how it serves the inner needs of people in a way that haven't been served before. You've got something. Harmonic flight. Luminescence. We're going to take that one too, guys. Full spectrum. And stepping through. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot here. Okay, so for those of you into numerology, I always like to tell you guys the numbers, but I'm like almost so excited I can barely do that. Harmonic flight is 29, 35, luminescence 26, full spectrum, and 47 stepping through. There's so many ways to interpret this, but guys, this is what's coming to me right now. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about light codes. But there's something about light codes, energy codes. Waves. Waves that are coming through. And we know there's a spectrum that we can hear on. There's a spectrum we can see. But there's a spectrum that goes way further than what we can hear, what we can see. There's certain light frequencies we cannot see with our human eyes. There's certain frequencies like dog whistles. Dogs can hear them, but we can't hear them. We just not set up for it, right? They can hear them, can drive them batty if you keep blowing the thing. And on the lower side of that too, with how elephants communicate. We just literally can't hear it, right? With our human ears. But there's so much we can hear and we can see in our ethereal body. That is this full spectrum. That is this luminescence that you are detecting, and you are bringing down this whole other system of belief. It's going to feel, I love that harmonic flight is here, because that's that more plugging into the divine. And it's like stepping through, I want to say like a waterfall, like a fog. There's a water element to it. Like you're stepping through that thing, experiencing this other kind of, I would say otherworldly bliss. And seizing in on those frequencies to bring back to everyone else. This is freaking exciting, because it's going to blow other people's minds. They're going to get pissy about it. That's okay. You're rebelling. You're rebelling against what's known by bringing in what isn't known to make it known. Trust your intuition. You've got an amazing connection with the divine. And so you need to use that and bring back this knowledge, these frequencies that we're just not attuned to at this time. Guys, you have such an amazing mission ahead of you. And a lot of this is coming down through August. I keep hearing it's going to happen in August. So it's like you're having this whole kind of transformative experience. Keep a journal, right? Keep a journal, oral, like, even if it has to be a recorded journal that gets transcribed later, right? You can keep one on your phone. or you're writing it down, like whatever needs to happen. If you need to draw, what's coming through, you need to get out in some kind of way. And I have a feeling it's going to be in multiple kinds of ways. It might be in writing, might be drawing, it might be orally. There's all sorts of ways you're going to need to get this out. So all the information coming through to you comes out, then it can be put back together into something that's more coherent, cohesive at a later time. Oh, I'm very curious who gets this reading, because this is like wow, blowing my mind. I'm seeing so many things. I'm trying to calm down as I tell you about it. Spend some time, if you can, in the water. I think that's only going to help your journey. Obviously, a lot of time in nature, but on ground, like not man-made ground, like ground. Like, I feel like you need to be in a forest of water, like cabin in the woods near a lake or a river kind of thing, if that's even possible. Because, again, being away from all these manual frequencies is going to help this message come in faster. I say this as I'm talking to you over the internet. But it is what it is, babe. Wow. Wow, okay. Do this for you guys. No. I'm hearing no. Alright. I want to give you a card, but I'm hearing that this is not the deck for you guys. So we're going to go ahead. And it's time for me to give you this because there's too much. Ah, okay. I get it now. There's so much coming through for you guys on deck chooser number 4 for August 2020. Business energy. You're downloading a whole new thing. Like that's what you need to know. And that is your next step. There's no need to go look at the tarot for the next step. That is your next step. Okay, August 2020, deck chooser number 4. Typically, when I pull out the tarot cards, I'm always seeing other steps, other things to be aware of. There is nothing else to be aware of. There's nothing else to do other than what I already said. You're downloading something huge. Get ready and get all the gear together to receive the download and know that you'll be able to put it back together in something coherent, because you'll probably get bits, pieces, not necessarily in order. So just get ready to get it all down. So I like to give a mantra. So as you move through the month, it's something else that can carry you just like your archetype. And I guess we got one. So as you're moving through, as you're downloading this thing, and guys, I am so excited. Like I'm tingling. It's almost like a prophecy that you're going to be getting. But it's something very, very actionable for people. All right. To truly flourish is to release all the tension that holds me back from letting love pour through me. Honestly, can't think of a better mantra to have. To truly flourish, especially for you guys, to truly flourish is to release all the tension that holds me back from letting love pour through me. So let it pour through. Oh my goodness, LOVEBUG. This is going to be an amazing time for you in August. I'm excited. All right, my little rebel. With that, I say peace, joy, love to you.